Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and oh boy, is today going to be a spicy one. So, in today's video, I wanted to cover a big topic that was in the comments of my last video, and that was about mods being strong and overpowered, and a comment I keep seeing, and have been seeing throughout my entire channel is, DB mods are overpowered. And I am known for being a big DB fan, but let me just get this out the way with. This is a non-biased video. I'm not going to say they're completely balanced, and I'm not going to say they're overpowered. But I am going to go over straight-up facts with their mods. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's get straight into this. So, starting with Deinosuchus, we are going to hop on DB Deinosuchus. I'm only going to cover their top 3 strongest mods, which is Giga, Dino, and annectens. So let's just start with Deinosuchus. Right, so if we quickly do this, /get attribute, and then we do health, we can see this thing has 850 health, which, yes, is more than a T-Rex, but it still loses in a face tank and a fight against a T-Rex. DB Deinosuchus runs 700 speed, T-Rex runs 800. It only has in fact, let's test this. Let's see how much seconds of stamina we have on land while sprinting, because it's not a lot. And yeah, you can already see this stamina's gone down. Now, is this thing a little quick? Yes, I will admit that. I do think it could be a little slower, because mainly for the animation purposes, because it slides. But look at that stamina, and we don't regen unless we sit or sleep on land. We do regen in the water whilst trying, though. I just want to make that clear. It'll come up later in the video, when I kind of go against another mod team's mod. But you saw that in the little intro, so... Anyway, so this thing has 850 health, loses in a fight against a T-Rex, and can't even sprint on land for more than 20 seconds. So why do people keep saying this thing's overpowered? Well, for one, its size. People say it's way too big. That doesn't make it overpowered, and realistically, it's Path of Titans. Nothing in this game is sized accurately, so who cares? Anyway, so let's get on to abilities. Is this thing really overpowered? That ability, no. That ability, no. That one is a 100 damage attack that does armor pierce. It ignores combat weight and armor, and that's it. And it's got a 12-second cooldown. This doesn't even do bone break. It says it does, but it doesn't. It does fracture. And then the clamp, this is another big topic. DB Deinosuchus can grab an allo. Now, realistically, Allosaurus is not a big animal. The one in game isn't even that big. DB Dino's size, and Allosaurus size, it fits in its mouth, so it can grab it. And to me, that makes sense. I know a lot of people don't like that. And, you know, it's a shame, but at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense. And then all of these abilities, you need to grab to use the death roll, tail attack does some knockback and a bit of damage, but overall, a lot of this is just vanilla based. And in my opinion, it's quite balanced for what it is. You know, it's not like a T-Rex where you can go into the middle of GP, massacre everything, and be fine. Because it can't. It can't run on land, it can't stay on land for too long, because no stamina. And sure, you could sleep after every fight, but you're just going to get killed. That's kind of what happens when you sleep. And, you know, a lot of people say this thing beats a T-Rex in a face tank. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it's for a few simple reasons. T-Rex does a lot of damage, has face tank and deep rumble. Even using deep rumble or face tank, so not both, just one of them, it can win. And you can also get around DB Dino quite easily, because its turning like that's pretty good, but this, it turns like a truck. And I will also, just for you guys who don't, go and join the DB Discord and look out, you know, specifics on their dinos, I'll get into something very special about this one. So, the tip of the nose takes less damage, because crocodiles and crocodilians in the modern day don't really have much things to bite there. It's kind of just bone, and it's very tough, so it takes less damage there. Head takes normal damage, and then the back of the neck, let me zoom in. Yeah, you see exactly where I zoomed in, like right in the center of the screen. That takes extra damage. I think it's like 1.5, so it's a big chunk of extra damage. and that's because the back of a crocodile's head, is a bit squishy around the neck, compared to the rest of it, of course. It's, still covered in scales. But that's why you'll see, like, videos of jaguars, or I think it's jaguars, kill a crocodile by biting the back of its head. And, they made that into their game, or into their mod for the game, which I think is cool. So if you ever want to fight this thing, avoid its head, don't face tank it, and aim for its neck, which, yes, is easier to do than you'd think. It's about these first 3 scoots, maybe the first 4 scoots that you can see, the bumps. About those first 3, that's the range that you can bite in. And as an apex, this thing will probably bite your ankle whilst you're biting its neck, so it's doing less and you're doing more. It's really easy to do. But anyway, now let's get on to a main thing that people mention with DBs, and that is KTO's is way more balanced. And oh boy, do I have a lot of things to say about this. I'm just going to go over this quickly because it's not to do with the video much, but let's just do that. Let's get that attribute, that attribute command again. Oh man, it has more health than DBs, it can face tank divine beasts, it turns way better. The only thing this lacks in is its speed, it's slower, which is a good thing. And it has less stamina. However, it can regen whilst trotting on land, and it has loads of abilities in here that increase stamina, or increase its speed, it's got loads of these type of abilities, which kind of ruins the entire point of making it bad on land. And it also doesn't need to grab to death roll, stuff like that. And then it's got this insane lunge, which I mentioned in my last video. But like I said, I just wanted to go over that quickly, because so many people say, DB's is too overpowered, KTO's is more balanced, despite it being a stronger mod. Anyway, so let's get on to the next one, because this one's going to be a fun one. DB Edmontosaurus annectens. Now, a lot of people say, oh, instantly way too big. This is a common theme for DB mods, and I'm going to disagree. Their annectens is basically a shant, and it's based off the X-Rex annectens, which, I'm pretty sure is fully classified. I'm not paleo nerd, but they had a paper to prove it, and, well, not prove that it was real, but give something to base their mod off, which, in all fairness, is fine to me. I don't really care if it's real or not, because as long as it's fun, which annectens is. This thing is huge, it's fun, and I enjoy it. Now, a lot of people say it's overpowered because of its AoE on the front limb. And I'm just going to straight up say it, that's not DB's fault. The issue is, because this thing's so long, it needs a large AoE. Otherwise, you'd be able to bite its back legs and it wouldn't hit. But it does. It hits just before, or just after the tail, like this back end. So about on the fully left side of my screen, that's about as far as the AoE hits. Which, yes, that's huge, but it kind of has to be, because otherwise you just spam bite its tail every time it does it, and it would be useless. Now, another reason it's very overpowered, I will say this stomp is very strong, and that's also because AoEs don't do locational damage. So if it hits you on the head, body, or tail, it all does the same damage, which, Alderon's going to fix eventually, and that should hopefully balance out a bit, but my god, that is quite insane. To be stood near this thing's tail, it does a front stomp, and a big chunk of your health is gone, with some knockback and fracture. That's quite powerful. As well as having the kicks, and, this thing can basically protect itself from all sides. However, it's still killable. Giganotosaurus can bleed it out. I've covered that in another video. And a single T-Rex playing extremely well can still kill this thing. It is possible. And DB kind of did balance it a little bit to fight nearly 2 Rexes. Not completely, it dies to 2 Rexes easily. But it can nearly do it. And if you guys want to say, oh, that's because DB can't balance, look at a Pato, which, by the way, isn't even that much larger than this thing. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway, also, I probably should have said this at the start, but quick disclaimer, mod teams do not balance against each other. As much as the community thinks it's a competition and they hate each other, they don't. DB, PT, KTO, and the rest, JFD, they don't care about each other. They don't balance against each other. As far as they're concerned, their mods don't even need to play against each other. You know, that's just how they are. But anyway, that has been annectens. You know, it was quite quick, and also, yeah, people say it's way too fast. It's slower than Deinosuchus, which is already 700. How slow do you want their mods to be, man? Like, come on, this thing's already over 100 units slower than a T-Rex. I don't know what you guys want them to do. It's a 6 slot anyway, so, you know, it's big, it's slow, it hits hard, it's tanky, but it's weak to bleed. So, you know, I just thought I'd kind of explain that a little bit, because a lot of people seem to think this is just an unstoppable tank, which it is most definitely not. And now, finally, the big boy of this video, Giganotosaurus. A lot of people hate DB's Giga, from the way it moves, its size, and everything. That's got nothing to do with this video. As I've previously said, the size thing, everyone thinks that about all their mods, which, who cares, Path of Titans. Anyway, now on to its abilities. The main one is this boy, Bloodlust. Let me give myself some marks, because I definitely need to show this off. Bloodlust is probably going to take up a huge chunk of this video, simply because there's so much to explain with it. And I kinda need to cover the whole thing, otherwise people won't understand it fully. Which is the main issue of this ability. The Dino Knight YouTuber that I play with, he thought this ability was absolutely insane, unbeatable. And then I explained to him what it does and how to counter it, and he said it's probably the weakest ability in the game, because of what it does. So, if you're going to listen to any part of this video, please listen to this one. You know, it's very important for understanding this single ability which everyone hates. So, Bloodlust. I'm not reading all that, I've done it before, but basically, when you use it, it does this. Very cool sound effect. And then your health starts to drain. You know, it goes all the way down. But I don't take damage. That's cool. Ah, my stamina's completely gone. Less cool. Look, I can only sprint for this long. This is not long at all. Now let's say there is a T-Rex fighting me. And the T-Rex was face tanking me, and then the T-Rex saw I pop Bloodlust and decided to turn around. It can outstand me by miles. And sure, I'm slightly faster because Bloodlust makes you 5% faster. Sure. 15% more damage as well. Sure. Immunity to damage. Sure. But the T-Rex can just use its tail knockback and sprint in a straight line. I can't catch it, and it can just outstand me. Wait out Bloodlust, and all of a sudden, I'm on 15% health. That T-Rex two-shots me. And there's nothing I can do about it. Now, using Bloodlust in the perfect way, there is still something you can do about it. Knockback cancels it. Biting someone whilst the voice call is active, or just before it's active, like when it does the roar, you can bite it. That does damage. Let's say, here. Let me just set my health to 200. There we go. So if I use it here, which wouldn't kill me, but there's a T-Rex biting me. Hold on. I need to set my stamina really high again. There we go. So let's say I use it at this health. The T-Rex bites me now. That entire section of the roar, that T-Rex can bite me. That's enough damage for 3 bites at least, or at least 2. And whilst it does that, I can't fight back. It can damage me. And let me just wait for this effect to actually end so I can get to the point. You know, let's say the T-Rex has bitten me, and the ability's ended, but as the ability started, let's say the T-Rex got me down to this amount of health. So, I'm at this amount of health, the T-Rex has bitten me, oh no, I've just used Bloodlust, this is not good. Because what happens after I'm on this low health, this ability kills me, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know, even if I kill you, I still die. And there's nothing I can do about it. And that's how Bloodlust works. It drains your stamina so you can't even chase anything. And you're not immune to knockback. you're only 5% faster, and you only do 15% more damage. And it's only about 15 to 30 seconds. I'm not quite sure. I haven't timed it fully. But it's not that long lasting. And once you use it, 6-minute cooldown, if you get bitten or knocked back whilst you're doing the ability, it cancels, or you get on lower health than 15% and it kills you. This happens to a lot of people who use it, especially me. This has happened a lot. And there's not much you can do to counter that. And the Bloodlust ability does work on people, and those people face tank whilst the ability is active. If you do that, yes, you're going to die. But that's on you for not knowing what this ability does. And hopefully, I've explained it plenty enough in this video, just so people can actually truly understand that it's not that powerful. You can run away from it. You can even cancel it with knockback. And plus, even if it pulls it off, just bite it and hope you get it low enough. But with all that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to leave this video here. Please be nice in the comments. Don't go hate on any mod team. Remember, they don't bounce against each other. And no hate towards DB. Call me a DB fanboy, sure, but I tried to keep this video as non-biased as possible. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.